Okay, so I just wanted to make a quick video here. I'm going to make this two-part video of the OptiSpark in anywhere from 93 to 97 LT1. It applies for all the LT1s, Corvette, Camaro, Firebird, Buick, Wagon, Impala as well. My issue was I could drive my car for a half hour, and this will help a lot of people because I notice a lot of people post about this. Drive my car for maybe 20 minutes to 30 minutes and it'll shut off. And then I have to wait anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour before it'll start. Sometimes it won't even start. So a lot of people say your OptiSpark goes bad. So at the front of your OptiSpark, you have this obviously, which is your cap, and then on the back you have your rotor. So I didn't go through the time to take everything apart. I just broke this one apart because it's garbage to me. Your rotor's here. This whole part here comes off, and then inside are your little points that, sorry, this is kind of hard to do sitting on my floor here. There's, you know, the little contact points here, and they get distributed through your spark plugs here. Another way to test to see if your OptiSpark is going bad is take off your coil here, where your coil plugs into here, and see if you have spark. I had spark on certain occasions, and then I didn't have spark. Now everybody told me, oh, your OptiSpark's not bad because you don't have spark at the coil, your ICM's bad. ICMs rarely go bad. You can have them tested at AutoZone. Go in there, have them tested 12 times. And the reason I say 12 times is because it'll get really, really hot. You know, I mean, I picked mine up. I was telling the guy, I said, there's no way this hot. I picked it up and burned my fingers. So what goes bad is this right here is where this is your crankshaft position sensor. A lot of people are like, oh, it doesn't have one. Well, it's not. It doesn't. It's called, the reason it's called an OptiSpark is because it's got an optical sensor. Now this little thing back here, this sensor senses these little tiny holes that, of course, my camera's not going to focus on. There we go. These little holes, and as they spin around, there's a little LED in there. And it tells the car that the crankshaft's spinning and that it needs to deliver spark. So then it goes through here, comes up this wire, goes up the left side, the passenger side of your motor. There'll be a wire that comes up, and it goes into the PCM, and then the PCM sends it back to the ICM, which goes to the coil. So after the coil, it goes to the OptiSpark and plugs in here. So pretty much, if you're getting the problem that I had, and like I said, I'm going to make this a two-part video. I'm going to show, you know, on my car when it's all put back together. Pretty much that's the problem. You know, everybody's like, oh, it could be your temperature sensor, but, you know, for me, it wasn't really that. I replaced that. It didn't make sense because, yeah, it does have a loop mode in there, you know, closed loop or open loop. I can't remember which one it is, but that wasn't my problem. I mean, I wasn't smelling rich gas. My EGR valve was bad. My map sensor was bad, but none of that causes this to go bad. So once you get this all off, a lot of people say when you take off the cap, the rotor that's in here, if I had taken off the cap correctly, the rotor would have sat right here. It bolts to here. There's this little screw in here. A lot of people like to take Loctite and put that on there because the companies that make these don't put Loctite in there, and they say these back off. Now, I've driven this car for, I replaced this OptiSpark last year sometime. I drove this car, probably put about 20,000 miles on it, and this never came off. Now, I'm trying to see if I can break off this little thing. Oh, there goes my battery. I can't even get this off. Like, everybody's like, oh, they screws back themselves out, and then it goes bad, it doesn't work. Well, obviously, you know, 15,000 miles is a lot of miles, and it never backed itself out. Go to AutoZone. A lot of people don't like AutoZone. Buy the Cardone one. It works just fine. If you're going to replace your cap and rotor, don't be an idiot. Replace the whole fucking thing. Don't cause yourself a headache. This thing's got a lifetime warranty on it now. I never have to worry about buying it again. So when you're putting this back together, here's the next thing I want to point out. Let's see if this focuses. Okay. See the little hole here? Where there's that one little tooth? Come on, you fucking piece of shit phone. There we go. That little tooth right there. This one has to line up with the little pin that goes in the motor and goes in here. Now you kind of got to fiddle with it. If it's not lined up correctly, these 4 points, this thing goes on the motor like this. There's a screw here, there's a screw right here, and there's a screw right here. I only have 2 of the screws because one of them snapped off from the kid who owned it. When you're putting this on, these should all be flush before you even put these screws on. If this thing doesn't mount flush to the motor, do not screw it on. Keep fucking with it until it goes on. Otherwise, you're going to end up having the problem I did, where I tried to start the car, and some people say it sounds like it's popping when you're trying to start it, and it won't start. I just reordered my distributor again because you can bend these very easily. See that? I can just literally pick that up, and then once it goes bad, the optical sensor can't see it because it's bent. Like there's the bend right here. So when it goes around and it's bent, the optical sensor can't pick that up. So that was my issue I was having. Car was shutting down. I couldn't drive it. I actually got fired from my job because my car broke down and they didn't want me because I was unreliable. But it's none of your guys' concern. Leave any comments below. I can help you if you have any questions about this. I've already done this 3 times now, so I'm getting good at it. You know, and among other things, I've done head gasket repairs, you know how to rebuild 4L60s. So if you have any questions or any concerns or anything, or you need help with something, leave me some comments in the down below, how everybody says. And that's that. I'll post video number 2 when I'm putting it in the car later.